Greetings and welcome to Fright Night Flix, where every night is Fright Night. Now that I've caught up with every 2025 release I was curious about, it's time to share my top 11 favourite non-horror films of the year. Why 11? Because sometimes I like to go one step beyond. So, with that said and done, let's dive into the best non-horror films of 2025.
Then let's get started.
Kicking off this list is Richard Linklater's Blue Moon, a film that captures the transition from Rodgers and Hart to Rodgers and Hammerstein. Ethan Hawke delivers a fantastic performance as Lorenz Hart, reflecting on his life on the opening night of Oklahoma, a new musical by his former collaborator, Richard Rodgers, played brilliantly by Andrew Scott. Where Linklater's Nouvelle Vague was a love letter to French New Wave, Blue Moon felt more intimate, poetic and personal. The screenplay is strong, even though much of the story takes place in a single location, and Linklater's direction carries a more serious tone compared to his typical lighter films.
No way!
What really elevates Blue Moon are the performances. Hawke is outstanding as Hart, Stott steals every scene as Rodgers, and Margaret Qualley is a wonderful addition to this already exceptional cast. This is one of the best films I've seen all year, and it's an essential inclusion on this list. Kicking off the top 10 is Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing, a film I personally loved more than most people I've spoken to about. This one doesn't feel like a typical Aronofsky film. It's more cinematic, fast-paced and surprisingly humorous compared to his usual work.
You didn't see that coming?
What makes this film so enjoyable is how it feels like a ride. The story is always moving, something interesting is happening every moment, and the characters stand out thanks to their quirks and strong presence. Matt Smith is undeniably the standout, stealing the show as a punk criminal who drags our protagonist into the chaotic mess. Austin Butler is solid as the lead, and Darren Aronofsky does a fantastic job bringing this energetic world to life. Caught Stealing isn't aiming for awards, it's just a bit of fun time at the movies. Its entertainment value alone earns it a top spot in my list, as it left me grinning from start to finish. In ninth place is my favourite international film of the year, Sentimental Values. After loving the director's previous film, The Worst Person in the World, I was eager to anticipate this story about a director trying to reconnect with his estranged daughters. The story is fantastic, propelled by a brilliant ensemble cast. Stellan Skarsgård delivers a career-best performance as the director, while Renat Wankvin and Ignar Isolde Elias shine as his two daughters. Yet it's Al Fanning who steals the show, excelling every time she appears as the actress cast in the director's movie.
You coconut.
The only drawback is the repeated cut to black throughout the film. It might have felt like it could have been intended as a mini-series that was edited into a feature, which is fine, but it can be a little distracting. Beyond that, Sentimental Values is a must-see for anyone who loves deeply human stories about family connection and recounselling. In 8th place is Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag, a film I kept coming back to. The story follows a British spy trying to uncover a mole in his inner circle while fearing that his own wife might be the culprit.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Black Bag boasts a compelling plot and is one of the most stylish films I've seen in 2025, but it's the cast that truly bring it to life. Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett deliver strong lead performances, while the supporting cast, including Pierce Brosnan, Reggae John Page, Naomi Harris, Tom Burke and Marissa Ambala, who shines in her biggest role yet, elevate every scene they appear in. Soderbergh has had a fantastic year with this and Presence, but for me, Black Bag stands out as his best of the two. I can't wait to see what this Oscar-winning director has in store for us next time. In 7th place is Beonia, Yorgos Lanthimos' remake of Save the Green Planet, reuniting him with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons for a hilarious yet wild ride.
Weird.
The story follows a conspiracy-obsessed beekeeper trying to save his mother after a failed drug trial, believing a corporate CEO, now gender-swapped into a woman, to be an alien. While the protagonist can be hard to root for, the plot is intense and engaging throughout. Writer Will Tracy does a great job adapting the story for English-speaking audiences. Jesse Plemons is phenomenal as the unhinged protagonist, delivering a performance similar to his Civil War character, while Emma Stone shines as a CEO in a strong supporting turn. Robbie Ryan's cinematography is stunning, and Jertskin's FedEx's score, including a memorable basket case needle drop, perfectly complements the film's surreal yet grounded tone. Begonia is another triumph for Lanthimos' combined sharp writing, striking visuals and powerhouse performances. While I prefer Poor Things slightly more, This is a close second and a must-see for fans of bold, unconventional cinema. I wonder if he'll make a good review for this channel. Just missing the top 5 is Wake Up Dead Man, the third entry in the Knives Out trilogy. I love the first 2 Knives Out films, so my anticipation was high, and I'll happily say this lands as the second best entry in the trilogy, neatly sandwiched between the original and Glass Onion.
I like those odds.
This time, the story centres on a priest caught with his community's complex relationship with the church, with Benoit Blanc brought in to investigate the death of Monsignor and the mystery surrounding his missing inheritance. Rian Johnson's writing and direction are once again sharp, confident and full of personality, bringing this darker, more reflective mystery to life. The cast is excellent across the board. Daniel Craig is as entertaining as ever, returning as Blanc. Josh O'Connor shines as a central figure, and the supporting ensemble, including Josh Brolin, Glenn Close, Jeremy Renner, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spenny and Darryl McCormick, add plenty of colour and intrigue.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Wake Up Dead Man is another strong entry to the Knives Out world, and it leaves me excited to see where Johnson takes this franchise next. In 5th place is I Swear, a quietly powerful British drama that restores faith in homegrown storytelling. The film follows John Davidson, played fantastically by Robert Aramayo, a man living with Tourette's syndrome, as he navigates personal and societal challenges in a time when the condition was poorly understood. Aramayo gives a career-defining performance, fully inhabiting John with vulnerability and resistance. Maxine Peake, Shirley Henderson and Peter Mullen provide strong support, but this is very much Aramayo's film. Kurt Jones's understated direction lets the story and performances breathe, while the cinematography, editing and score enhances the emotional impact without ever feeling overdone. Simple, grounded and deeply human, I Swear is a film that lingers long after the credits roll, and must see for everyone who appreciates honest, heartfelt storytelling.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
In 4th place is Chloe Zhao's Hamnet, a beautifully crafted return for the Oscar-winning filmmaker behind Eternals and Nomadland. Based on Maggie O'Farrell's novel, the film follows William Shakespeare and his wife Agnes Hathaway coping with the death of their 11-year-old son Hamnet. Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal give stunning performances as Agnes and William, with Noah Jupe leaving a lasting impression in a smaller but pivotal role. Zhao's signature style shines, raw and intimate yet visually gorgeous, with authentic costumes, striking cinematography and Matt Richer's haunting score. The story focuses on Agnes, giving a fresh perspective rarely explored in Shakespearean narratives, while the pacing and emotional weight keeps you fully engaged. Hamnet feels like a perfect comeback for Zhao, balancing human intimacy with cinematic beauty. Bucky's nuanced portrayal and Mescal's mastery Shakespeare make this one of the most memorable films of 2025.
So beautiful.
Before I reel my top 3, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to Flix and follow us on social media so you don't miss a single scare. What were your favourite non-horror films of 2025? You let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to check out all my past videos on the channel. Now, just to be clear, these top 3 aren't just my favourites on this list, they're my top 3 favourite films of the entire year. So,
get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
taking the bronze spot is my favourite animated film of the year, Zootropolis 2, or Zootopia 2 for my American viewers. The original is one of my favourite all-time Disney films, and I'm happy to say that this sequel not only lives up to the original, but may be the best Disney sequel ever made.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
The film smartly expands the world introduced in the first film, adding new fun characters, particularly the new mayor and Gary DeSnake, who immediately leave an impression. The voice cast is excellent across the board, the mystery keeps you hooked from start to finish, as Nick and Judy tackle the case, and the animation feels both familiar and refreshed. Zootropolis 2 takes everything that worked in the original and builds on it in a meaningful way. It feels necessary, does something genuinely new, and never comes across as a rehash, which is exactly why it ranks so high on my list as my third favourite film of 2025. The runner-up for me is Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme, which sees Timothée Chalamet play a petty criminal attempting to become the best ping-pong player in 50s America. Chalamet has a habit of sneaking into my favourite films, and this stands as one of his very best performances to date.
He's back!
Chalamet is electric, fully embodying Marty with charisma and intensity. Gwyneth Paltrow delivers one of her strongest performances in years, while newcomer Aditya Ozayan is magnetic as Marty's love interest. The storytelling feels epic and Stoke, brought vividly to life through striking production design and cinematography. Every creative choice feels deliberate, showcasing Josh Safdie's confident and distinctive vision. Compared to his brother's film, The Smashing Machine, Marty Supreme makes a strong case for Josh as the stand-up filmmaker out the two Safdie brothers. Watching it with a packed crowd only reinforced the feeling that Chalamet has firmly taken his place as the next generation's big star. Bold, stylish and endless entertaining, Marty Supreme is a film I believe will only grow in stature with time. Before I reveal my favourite film of 2025, here are a few honourable mentions. Materialist. Celine Song's follow-up to Past Lives delivers a strong narrative and explores relationships in a thoughtful, compelling way. Warfare. Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza team up for one of the most intense and visceral war films in recent memory. The Life of Chuck. Mike Flanagan proves his range outside of horror with his uplifting and emotional resonant Stephen King adaptation. Nezath 2, the highest grossing film of the year, expands its mythos effectively and builds well on what was set up in the first film. Superman. James Gunn kicks off a new DC universe in style, delivering a Superman that feels fresh while staying true to the character we all love. And now, it's time to reveal my favourite film of 2025, which should be a no-brainer. It is... Taking the top spot as my favourite film of 2025 is Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. While it has appeared on plenty of end-of-year lists, I generally didn't have a better cinema experience all year than watching this film on the big screen. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio as an ex-revolutionary trying to save his daughter from an old enemy, played by Sean Penn, One Battle After Another sees PTA return in incredible form. While There Will Be Blood remains my favourite of his films, this comes a very close second. For a 2.5-hour runtime, the pacing is flawless. I was never bored for a second. Seeing Anderson's work in a modern-day setting also felt refreshing, with the simple plot elevated by rich writing and deeply drawn characters. PTA's direction is masterful, supported by stunning cinematography from Michael Bauman that gives the film an epic scale and sharp, confident editing that keeps everything flowing effectively. Johnny Greenwood's score is once again phenomenal, driving the tension and effect to key moments to the edge of your seat intensity. DiCaprio delivers one of his best and most human performances as Bob Ferguson, while the supporting cast is equally strong. Benicio del Toro provides comic-timed relief. Chase Infinity impresses in a standout debut. Regina Hall and Tiana Taylor leave strong impressions, and Sean Bean is truly unforgettable as antagonist Stephen Lockjaw, easily one of his best performances of his career. One Battle After Another feels like a major Oscar contender and a defining work in PTA's career. With its sharp writing, powerful performances, breathtaking visuals and unforgettable score, it stands as the best film of 2025 and a true cinematic achievement, and that's why One Battle After Another is my favourite film of 2025.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Thank you all for watching today's video. Join me next time we dive back into the horror world. But until then, keep the chills alive. And as always, remember, every night is Fright Night.